Perhaps you watched the movie Argo, an award-winning Hollywood film about the 1980 joint CIA-Canadian secret operation to extract 6 American diplomatic personnel out of Iran, which was at the time in the throes of a violent Islamic revolution following the overthrow of the Shah of Iran. Many people suspect Argo was a CIA movie production in Hollywood. Well, there's another movie about the revolution. The Golden Veil is an independently produced movie released in 2011, written and produced by Mr. Bahman Nassiri. The Golden Veil's plot is set against a backdrop of greed, corruption, and political intrigue. It begins with the 1979 Iranian Revolution. The movie is a story about money, oil, and a clandestine romance of a beautiful woman in love with a man from another country. In the movie, cultures clash, friendships are tested, bonds broken, and lives lost in a web of international conspiracies, lies, and secret agendas, all hidden behind the Golden Veil. Well, Mr. Bahman Nassiri is more than a gifted screenwriter and movie producer. He is also a 32nd degree Freemason. He claims to have unheard secret information about an ancient Middle Eastern secret society, its connections to Western intelligence agencies, and a long-running agenda to plunge the human race into a third world war. This is my first time to talk to Mr. Nassiri. Mr. Nassiri has stated that True News is his last interview and that in this program he will divulge all that he knows. Bahman Nassiri, welcome to True News.
Thank you for inviting me, Mr. Wiles. I didn't expect you to talk about Argo, but since you have, I'd like to add that The Golden Veil was released long before Ben Affleck's Argo.
Yes.
But please do not compare my film with Argo. Hollywood spent $45 million producing Argo and millions advertising it. I spent $250,000 producing The Golden Veil and zero advertising budget.
Yes, but you didn't have the CIA bankrolling you.
No, I didn't. I just bought people on Facebook, etc.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And I do not wish to sound arrogant, but I ask Americans to watch both movies and decide which is a better film, considering the huge gap in production budget. Argo's production budget was 200 times that of The Golden Veil. But, you know, as Albert Einstein said, any intelligent fool can make things bigger, more complex, and more violent. It takes a touch of genius and a lot of courage to move in the opposite direction.
Well, I will say to our audience that The Golden Veil is a very well-written and produced movie, and people can watch it online, and I really encourage you to do that. Let's start with the movie. The Golden Veil it's a fictional movie that alludes to a dark, sinister conspiracy involving the 1979 Iranian hostage crisis. So let's begin with the crisis, and then we'll work our way back in time and connect the dots.
Yes. Well, actually, The Golden Veil is based on a true story. But I will explain this. But first, Mr. Wiles, more important than talking about my film, I'd like to urge American people not to believe the fabricated lies and propaganda by the CIA to defame the character of the late Shah of Iran and my dear Empress now living in exile, to justify the action of overthrowing the Shah back in 1979 and replacing him with an illiterate Islamic fanatic called Ayatollah Khomeini. The Shah was a highly educated man who left the country without bloodshed once he realized that his efforts of bringing the country into the modern world was not appreciated by his people. He was not a dictator like Saddam Hussein, Gaddafi, or Assad.
Why did Western intelligence and their masters turn on the Shah?
A good question, and this I will explain in detail in about probably 2 minutes from now. But The Golden Veil is a political drama but it is mainly a love story, a true love story. The love story is about a young lady I knew in Iran who was a SAVAK special agent. That was the Shah's secret police. Actually, if you don't mind, I'd like to talk about the political side of the movie and use this opportunity to talk to the American people.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
You know, I spent the past 11 years talking to Iranian people and appeared on more than a dozen satellite TV interviews, but it is now time to talk to the American people and enlighten them about what is really going on against the wishes of those who write history books to serve their own agendas. Those who are using the news networks and Hollywood to brainwash the American people. That is why I'm appearing on True News. Anderson Cooper does not have the courage to challenge me. The Golden Veil is based on my true story, The Golden Mask, it's called, which I was thinking of publishing, but I have now decided not to do so at this time, although I have posted 52 pages of the story on Facebook. The story is full of solid documents which support my claim and what I have shown in my movie. This film reveals the bitter truth behind the hostage crisis which helped Ronald Reagan win the presidential elections. And the film shows what secret hands were behind the hostage-taking. You know, Mr. Wiles, the problem is once you begin to talk against the wishes of those who are in charge, they immediately label you as a conspiracy theorist, and no one takes you seriously. But my method is different, Mr. Wiles. I have never in my life given a simple and straight answer to a question, because I believe the most effective way of getting your point across is to present a series of facts and let the person make his or her own decision. That is how I wrote the Golden Veil script, how I presented my case at the MIT debate following the screening of the film, and that was on Super Bowl Day 2011, and how I have written my story, The Golden Mask. Now, to answer your question, well, first I'd like to say the Iranian Revolution of 1979 was a conspiracy, masterminded by powerful sources in the United States, Britain, and France, for 4 reasons. And these are the 4 reasons that will answer your question. 1, to prevent a communist takeover by installing an Islamic regime. 2, to remove the Shah, who was the architect of rising oil prices, which had caused a severe economic crisis in the West. 3, to remove the threat of Iran becoming a nuclear power under the Shah. Here I would like to add what the Islamic Republic has achieved in terms of nuclear technology in 33 years. The Shah would have achieved that in 3 years. 4, and the most important, the first step towards plans for the New World Order, which I'll be talking about in a minute or two. Secondly, a secret brotherhood based in the Middle East participated in the overthrow of the Shah, as shown in my film, and the money spent was in US dollars. Third, as shocking as it may sound, especially to Iranians, Osama bin Laden, who was in his early 20s at that time and had joined the Afghan rebels to kick Russians out of Afghanistan with U.S. and British support, was also a member of the same brotherhood, although he would never admit to it. It was later that bin Laden formed his own branch called Al-Qaeda, or as you pronounce it, Al-Qaeda. It's funny, we've had 4 presidents in the White House and not one has been able to pronounce the name properly.
And give us the proper pronunciation again. Al-Qaeda.
It means the principle, if translated.